We're going to spend a little time reviewing, and I'm going to use a chart that you're familiar with. It's your bowling team. Again, anytime you work with a spreadsheet, make sure that you understand the data that's in front of you. That will make it a little easier. One other thing that you want to remember is, say that you have a blank row in there, and I choose the data right here, and I go through and I create a column chart. You will see that there is blank data here because I have a blank row. Okay, so again, as you create your chart, if it doesn't look the way it's supposed to, make sure that you just delete it right away and you go back and you make the corrections you need. Another thing here also is if I choose just Fred all the way down to Barney's score, and I make a chart, you will notice down at the bottom here it says series 1, 2, 3. You can see that it does not say games 1, 2, and 3, so the first thing you want to do is delete it and make sure that you select the right data before you go any further. All right, so we're going to select the team members and the titles and all three games. And the first chart I'm going to show you and just review with is the bar chart. You will notice that this is the one we've been using a lot, where it'll show each game individually. This is what's called a stack bar, and it'll show each game piled on top of each other. This is also a stack bar, but it is 100% stack bar, and it's not real easy to work with. So we're going to choose this one right up here, this stack bar. You will notice, and I'm just going to move it off to the side, stretch it out just a little bit. You will notice that it looks pretty good because I have my legend is there and my items right there. Couple things that you want to think about before you start doing anything else is, do I want to add a style, or do I want my words to be something other than black? For example, I'm going to take this chart and I'm going to go home and I'm going to change my font to red, and you can see how it changes all the font in your chart. Okay, and again, I can go through if I wanted to change into a different font itself, I can do it that way. I can go through, you can see that, I'm going to pick something that's real obvious that is easier for you to see. You can see that it's going to be a different font. Okay, I'm going to undo those two things. I can also boldface, italicize, I can underline everything that's on there by my home screen. And this is something I would do right away. Another thing that I want to do is, I don't really like the orange and the red together, so I'm going to go back to my chart. I'm going to choose colors, maybe choose like the grays and the blacks. All right, next as a review, we're going to move the legend. The legend is game 1, 2, and 3. As a little reminder, remember in our elements, our legend, say that we want to put it at the top. Now it is up here. Okay. My chart title, I can change it to Valley City Bowling. Whoops. And you can see I can go through here, and just like before, I can change it. It is the title, so I'm going to bump it up to about 28, make it a little bit bigger, and so forth. If I want to remove the numbers from down here or the words from the side, again, as a review, we'll go to your charts, your elements, and that is your axis. So if I turn it off, you can see that the names will disappear. Okay, I'm going to keep those on. If I want to define what those numbers are, remember that is our axis titles. So if I put down here that these are the scores, oops, let me get that. And say that I want that to be black, I can switch just that axis down there. Okay, if this is team 5, I could put, you know, maybe we have 10 teams and this is team 5. I can also add another axis along my vertical and maybe put that as team 5. Again, I'm going to make that, I can make that black by going to home and choosing my black color. Okay, another thing I like to do is I'm going to choose Valley City Bowling, and again, I can do this with all of it. I can change this back to, it looks like it froze on me. So hopefully it opens again. Let's open it real quick again and see what we have that shows up. I'm sure this happens to you every once in a while, but all right, we're going to go back to our Valley City Bowling. You can see that it didn't quite save everything, so I'm going to go back in here, and I can change my font color. All right. Looks like I lost it all. Let's go back in there. All right, so some other things that we're gonna take a look at also are these. Remember, those are your grid lines. So if you see that, I can go to my chart, my elements, my grid lines, and say that I want to put some horizontal ones on there. I can put that on there also. You can see that is just your grid lines. All right. Next, we're going to just create a new chart with the team members and their average. Remember, when you create a new chart and the data isn't right next to each other, you will select the data. So I'm going to select members through Barney. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go down, and I'm just going to paste that data in there. Then I'm going to go over to average, copy, and paste that data in there. Okay, if I do that, I get a bad reference. So instead of just pasting the data, what I need to do is paste special and choose values. Okay, and then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to decrease the decimal. So I just, whoops, go in there, and I'm going to decrease the decimal right there. Okay, so now I have my data for my next chart. So I'm going to select members and all the data. I'm going to insert a chart, and this time I'm going to do a line chart. And you can see this line chart doesn't have the little dots where the data points are. I'm going to choose that one. I can see right away, I'm going to put it over here. I can see right away that I don't need the legend down here. Okay, but first of all, I'm going to think, okay, do I need to change the color or the style? Let's go up and check out this style. I kind of like this one up here. It's the second one, the one on the right at the top. And you'll see that it puts the numbers into a bubble. Okay, a couple of things I'm missing with the style is the numbers that float along here. So again, to put those in there, we're going to go to chart, to our elements, to our axis, and we better put our primary vertical one back on again. And those put the numbers right here. Okay, then I could go, I don't really need this legend down here, so I can go chart, elements, go to my legend, and choose none. Okay, say that this is another example instead of bowling scores. Maybe it's the amount of money that each of these individuals collected for a fundraiser. Okay, you can see that the numbers are just plain numbers. So if I want to change those numbers to dollars, I have to go back into my chart. Remember, choose those. I'm going to go to ABC 1, 2, 3, choose my currency, and now I have the dollars on there. And you can see now they will show up on my chart over here as dollars. And so I might put like funds raised. One last thing I'm going to show you is up here. That didn't save when I... Okay, you can see that I have the names on the left side, the scores at the bottom. I'm going to go up here where it says switch rows and columns. And by doing that, now you can see that the numbers are at the bottom, and now it shows game 1, 2, and 3. And it's really easy to figure out which game your team bowled the best on. And you can see now the names are part of the legend. You can see game 1 was the longest stack bar. That means that as a team, that was their best game. If I want to bring it back, I'm just going to do my switch rows and column. Now I can see that Barney is my best bowler. Now that should help you a little bit, get you prepared for the tests that come for the next 2 days.